A live-action solo leveling is set to arise.
With dungeons to conquer and foes to despise.
The Monarch of Shadows will claim his throne.
As Cacao expands the world we've known.
Before we get into today's video, please make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons because YouTube seems to hate our channel.
So offer up your subscriptions, to break the algorithm curse.
And now, on to the video.
Whoop whoop! Then again, live action anime doesn't always bode well.
So the reason we're covering this is because a lot of people know of, or at least have heard of. I know some people don't like it necessarily, and I've heard valid reasons, like the character's overpowered, whatever. Fine, I get it. But a lot of people have at least heard of, if not enjoyed, solo leveling. And it's getting a live action. Now, as Raven already mentioned, it is a bit of a concern because whenever something is adapted to live action, it doesn't always bode well, especially these things. I think there's only been like 2 things that I have ever seen that have done a decent job.
Yeah, and those, for you, in your books, those were Alita Battle Angel and One Piece, right?
So, look, I know people had issues with One Piece. I'm not saying that, to say, oh, it's like the epitome of whatever, but at least it was something I could watch. It was at least decent. Like, don't even get me started on live-action Cowboy Bebop or live-action Yu Yu Hakusho.
Which no one talks about. There's also a live-action Full Metal Alchemist that nobody knows of.
Ugh. Basically, as you can see here, honey, do you want to read what announcement we got?
Sure. In addition to the ongoing second season of the anime by A1 Pictures, a live-action solo leveling drama is now confirmed to be in the works, according to Cacao Entertainment. The company shared general plans for the future of solo leveling in a post on their website, taking the opportunity to briefly note that the live-action project is currently in various stages of planning and development. Details on a release date, staff, cast, and others were not revealed at the time of reporting.
If this is done correctly, it could be good. However, I don't think so, no.
I mean, I suppose they could find a way to tie it into the actual anime by saying that there's the dungeon that he enters is like 3D real world style. Because Daily Life of the Immortal King in the end of season 2 had an episode in which they stepped through a portal and suddenly they were animated like 2010 video game characters. Like Final Fantasy, early Final Fantasy.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to say this. Like, we do not need... If a story is good enough in anime that people know about it, enough that you would consider making it a live action, you probably shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean,
like, again, it's the same thing we see with like Disney, for example. And I'm bringing up Disney, and it will seem like a weird example till I explain. Disney loves to take their old animated things and make them live action. And they'll pick the ones that did well, and they'll make these live action abominations that you're just like, what are you doing? But you ask yourself, you go, why don't you just take some of the ones that didn't do as well and use it as an opportunity to fix them, to see what people said about them when they came out, and make them live action? Like, I would love to see a live action Treasure Planet.
Or Atlantis the Lost Empire, which we have said multiple times in the past. Those 2 movies would be so cool in live action!
Why not take some of the animes that weren't adapted well? There are plenty of them, right? And do a good adaptation in a live action.
Because they have to use the ones that are more well-known for the money.
But if it's well-known enough, then it doesn't need a live action.
Do you really expect them to be logical?
Yes, I would expect, like, again, if they had an anime that was, like, doing well and it, like, tanked off a cliff, like, you could revive it with that. But, like, it's like, oh, this anime is doing well. I know, let's make it live action. And it's like, yes, there's an audience of people who will only show up for live action things, like older adults sometimes aren't interested in, like, animated stuff. And that's fine. I get it. Everybody has their tastes. But I'd want a good story. So for me, I'll bring this up and we'll kind of move things forward from here. But for me, I like anime. But for me, pacing is key for any show that I watch. So when I tried to watch One Piece, I couldn't do it. Not because it wasn't a good show, but because it was very slow. So for me, the live action One Piece, although it wasn't perfect, did a good job removing a lot of the filler and making it something that I was able to, process and to digest, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Something that Master was able to follow without getting bored.
I completely can get how you can do this in a good way. The problem is we see so many of these things get like completely messed up, and you just go like, what in the world is happening? Like, just stop.
I don't know. Why does everything have to be live action? That's the real question. Fight scenes from anime cannot really be reproduced in live action accurately.
I'm more than willing to see what they do with this, right? Because there's a chance that it could be good. But quite honestly, I just look at this and I go, no, we don't need this. And I know some people aren't fans of solo leveling, and that's fine. But I think we can all recognize that taking an anime, doesn't matter what the quality of it is, and try to make it live action. Yes, I know I said that like lower quality ones can be taken and done, but obviously they don't do that. But most animes that are taken and adapted usually end up as like incomprehensible garbage. So I think whether you like the show or not, I think we can all agree that it does not need a live action.
Yes.
Share with your crew, escape life's hell. From spooky memes to advice obscure, here's your dark solace with humor as a cure.